the best podcast in the world.
Yeah.
Hey, man, I was going to wear my tie, but I said we'll go with, that one didn't go. That one over their head, Scott, that one over their head. That one
bet not.
What episode are we? Episode 61?
62. Tony Tolbert.
Law came ready.
All came ready.
He wanted to win today, Scott. He didn't want to tie. So episode 62, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys Collective. We got a loaded show for you guys today. A shout out to the graphics team for kind of having our topics up. Got these amazing headshots of us over there. We're looking good. We're looking like something, man.
I need to get a headshot, man. I need to get a better.
I got to send them an updated headshot.
They got our play ones, man. Goddamn.
I kind of like my jump still with the buckets.
Nah, yours is fine. I still use yours when you come on the show. I use that same one for years. That's a perfect headshot right there.
Hey, John, how you feel about your headshot? You want one with the hat on, or what you?
That's an old one. It's whatever. I don't care.
John got the professional,
Yeah, it's from that's like from the news. That's what it was from. Yeah.
The OG joint. So we got a loaded show today. As always, we're gonna start with John Machota. It's a lot to talk about, fellas. So, John, what's going on? Boots on the ground. Oh,
sorry, gotta correct you, man. Tony Tolbert was 92, Law. So we got to find another 62. That's your homework. You gotta find another 62.
Well, Brian Baldinger. But I think Tony. Yeah.
Baldy played with Dallas.
Yeah.
I mean, Tolbert wore 62 as well.
Oh, well,
he wore
lost name. Okay,
he wore it from 89 to 97.
Oh, then you good, bro.
And then he wore 92. He wore 92. No, see, it just says 89, 97 for his career. It doesn't say what years it was. So
we good. Yeah. All right.
Oh man, toxic with the banger, Marco Rivera. How about that?
Rivera, man. Let's give
Rivera in his back.
That's a good one.
That's real.
Yeah, there's not a lot of great ones.
Okay, John.
And
on that note, we're gonna start with John.
Wait till you get to 63, and we're gonna talk about Tyler Biadasz. I mean, it's cool.
Big of this.
Oh, John with his fastball. I'm gonna let John rock today. We're not gonna stop him. We're gonna get some heaters. Hey, John, what's going on? Boots on the ground. I saw Jerry Jones spoke. Steven, the players, Shotty. What's going on? Boots on the ground.
Yeah. So first, I like to get to some of the injury stuff. Guyton had a concussion in the game, but it sounds like it's pretty mild, like that there's a decent chance he can get through protocol and then be able to play on Sunday. So that's good news. Malik Hooker, not so good there. He's dealing with a toe issue and is probably out for a couple of weeks. So I think that's kind of a good thing, to be honest with you, because when he went to the bench and he wasn't putting any weight on his foot, and then after he talked to the doctors, he went over and hugged each safety individually, like his season was done. So the fact that he's only going to be out for a little bit, I think that's a good thing. And then it's still good news that CD and Tyler Booker haven't been put on IR. That shows you that they think that they're going to possibly be able to come back in a couple of weeks. Booker was in the locker room the other day and didn't even have a boot on anymore. CD hasn't been in the locker room. There's ways to not be in the locker room when the media is there. They know what time we're going to be there, but his boot was just sitting in his locker. So unless he has multiple boots, maybe CD's not using his. And the way he was running around the sideline, I think that he probably doesn't even need a boot. I think it's probably just precautionary, but I think they might be back in a couple of weeks. So that's a good thing for them. Jaden Blue, everybody always asks about him. And Schottenheimer said on Monday that he's, quote, very close, that he's been standing out in practice. And so, Miles Sanders is a little banged up, but nothing that's going to keep him out of games.
Put a pin in that, John, not to cut you off. Put a pin in that Jaden Blue point.
Yeah, so Blue, I know everybody always asks about him, so that's the latest on him. So maybe this game, maybe the Carolina game. Trayvon Diggs not starting, I thought was kind of interesting because after the game, there's a lot of mixed messages going on this. So we thought it was just a health thing, that he was going to be limited. And then he said after the game, it was a coach's decision. And then Schottenheimer was pretty open about that. It was a coach's decision.
Right.
And so, everybody, it sounds like is on the same page now with it. But even after the game, you could tell, when Jerry was asked about it, it was very much Well, no, he needs to be out there. So I don't think that Jerry loved the idea that he wasn't out there. But it sounds like that they figured everything out and got on the same page with that after the game. But I thought Diggs played pretty well, all things considered, in that game. So I know there's some people that might be saying, yeah, who cares, whatever, I think if you can get Diggs, if you can get Diggs and Bland healthy, and then you have Reddy Stewart, maybe you get Ravel back, maybe you have something at corner. Because the other thing I was going to add is that, Jerry was asked this morning on the radio about, making a move to help this defense.
Right.
And while he said that's a possibility, he in typical Jerry fashion went right to the help is on the way thing, talking about DeMarvion Overshown and how Azaraku stood out in the game and J.W. and Clowney. And it's like, if this was the first year he was doing that, I might think differently, but he's been doing that for years, saying that stuff.
Right.
And that's kind of the salesman Jerry to try and sell, like, no, better days are ahead. And while I think slightly better days are ahead, I think that your actions speak louder than words. And I'm not saying you need to make a move. I wrote about this after the game, like we'll get into how well Dak played and all that, but like with how well he played, it's like when you have a franchise quarterback playing at an elite level, that's not commonplace. Don't waste it. And I'm not saying you need to use those first round picks that you got in the Micah trade, but you can do something, to try and maybe help at linebacker, maybe help out in the secondary, and that might only be for like a 4th or 5th round pick or something, but somebody that, you make a move and it instantly helps your team. And it also sends a message to the rest of the team that, hey, we're going to try and fix this thing, that we're not just going to go and kind of be fine with maybe being like a 7 or 8 win team, that we think we can make the playoffs. But if you just sit back and expect that, well, Overshown will be back and Azaraku will keep playing better, I think that's wishful thinking, because when Overshown gets back, it's not like they're going to throw him out there that first game and it's like, oh,
correct.
Every play, here you go. And he's going to be at this awesome level. Like, he's probably going to have to get ramped up, and he probably will play like 20, 30 snaps. And then the next game, maybe he'll play 40, and who knows how he responds to that. So I don't know if banking on just Overshown being back is enough. And the reason I say that is because, as we'll talk about, that defense is just still too much disconnect to think that one standout player is going to fix it.
John, you're right on the money with all of your talking points right there. One of the things that I say, the impediment of the Cowboys, the lack of sense of urgency and operating out of comfort. You see, if Jerry Jones had his, feet on the fire or tail on the fire, you know how it goes. If he can get fired or what have you, if he was in the hot seat, pressure. Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. He'd be trying to figure out a way to get players in there now instead of waiting for osmosis or organically for these guys to get back. And we know, we can see it, like Sky and Foots. We watch tape, and I know you right on the Cowboys and you there at every game. We know that we need 1 or 2 pieces. We're not asking for the world, but Jerry's tend to sit back and operate out of comfort, which is a problem for us.
Yeah, I just don't feel like that he operates in an aggressive manner where it's like, my job's on the line. Like, this defense isn't good enough. We got to make a move or 2 right now. It's more so, well, the rest of the league knows our defense isn't good, so we'll probably get some calls, and then we'll react to that. But we're not going to do a lot of the calling. That's just the way it comes off.
Oh, you said it right there. We're in a reactionary organization. Even when you go get certain players that you need, and I'll give them a hat tip for getting those guys in the sense of Cooks at the time and Gilmore and even Pickens. But if you really dig deep into that, they're actually reacting to what they didn't do the previous year, or maybe in the draft, or maybe leading up into free agency. They needed wide receiver and cornerback help in that 2022 season, and they waited till after to get it. They needed a wide receiver going into the draft and right out, or even before the draft, and they waited after to get it. So they're reactionary, and maybe they need to see more before they make a move, because they did it in 21, 22. Correct me if I'm wrong. 22. They went out and got Jonathan Hankins. They said, all right, this run defense ain't going to cut it. They went out and got big Jonathan Hankins, and he actually helped your run defense in the playoffs. People don't talk about that enough. Hank was a problem, against them. So I would hope that he would see that and say, well, if we're not going to go spend big capital, at least let us go get a couple Jonathan Hankins types. I don't know if that saves the defense, but I'm with oh, y'all, I'd rather go for the gusto here as opposed to sitting on my ass and just hope that by osmosis, I love how you said that, all of a sudden guys that have been injured and have not practiced in preseason, have not practiced in training camp, have not practiced in practice during the season, are going to save the defense right away. I just not for that.
And they made calls to trade Micah Parsons. So I'm not going to act like they don't ever make calls, but I'm saying that I just don't get the sense that they're the ones that are always aggressive.
But that was making
phone calls to try and get and improve the roster. I think that Jerry has made it pretty clear that he doesn't feel like you get the best of the deal when you're the one calling. And he probably feels that way even more after the Micah thing. And he won't say it publicly because it's in his best interest to say that he got a good return from Micah. But everybody knows that if you trade him earlier, in the offseason, you probably would have got more. And if they really had that plan all along, they would have done it earlier in camp so that obviously the teams would want to have him early in camp. Let's say it's the Packers, and they would want to have Kenny Clark in camp for them, So
I'm not giving them credit for that because they make calls out of emotion.
Be factually correct because in my job, it's very often that people will find like the littlest needle in the biggest of haystacks. Wait, you said this, and it's like, okay,
they do that to us too. But they made calls out of their emotions for that player. They did it twice. They did it with Amari Cooper and Micah. That wasn't to better the team. That was because they were pissed off at said player. That's different to me.
Interesting stuff, guys. To me, John, I think you said a lot. I want to go back to the Blue comment because I think we all are just wondering and waiting as to why. It was clear to me throughout this game, and we could just segue right into our overall thoughts of the game. I'll start. I said on this show, and I said on shows I was on, that I thought Dallas would have a chance, and I thought that they more than had a chance. Now, obviously, the defense let them down in key moments, right? In moments where, John, you said it. I don't think the Diggs played bad. I thought that his biggest issue was not giving effort on that tackle. But if people want to call that nitpicky, I'll say that was his biggest issue to me. But then he came back in the game and actually did make some nice tackles. So I want to give Diggs credit for that. I think that right now your worst DB is Elam, and it's not close. I think people are down on Donald, but one thing Donald will at least tackle. And by the way, Dallas, I counted about 20 missed tackles because a lot of those, and maybe more, because a lot of those swing passes, John, to not just Josh Jacobs, but to the backup running back was just swing and
runs.
It was bad. But
the one that was the worst by far to me is right after the Pickens touchdown, under a minute to go. The analytics say you're about a 75-80% chance you win that game. Green Bay returns the ball, still got a ways to go to even get in field goal range, dumps it off. Jacobs should be maybe 5 yards. He just blows right by Shamar James, 25-yard gain. You're already at midfield. It's just like boom, it's over right there.
That was egregious.
Devastating. Yeah.
But John, what I was looking at throughout the game was, okay, I knew that Dallas would offensively, and we'll talk about it all, but my breakdown of the game, that what I'm noticing is for this offense to really maximize what it wants to be, they need another runner. And this is on top of Javonte Williams being really good. Right. But what this offense can be, if I'm looking at Detroit, where I think Dak Prescott is playing better than Jared Goff. The difference is Goff has the ability to drive a Mercedes and a Corvette. And it's a big, and it means something when you can put the ball on.
Receivers are healthy.
And hey, but hold on, John. I'm gonna tell you this: all of his receivers are healthy. But I said on this stream that Dallas will be fine without CD because I think that highly of George Pickens. But just to me, my biggest takeaway is we need to find out this running back situation, because as much as I don't think Miles Sanders played bad, he just doesn't, for what Clayton Adams wants to be, he doesn't give you anything in that way. Like, he doesn't give you those downhill gap scheme runs. Javonte's going to hit it. We need another runner in there that can take some of the pressure off of this offense, which is playing well, by the way.
When somebody drop a 50 piece up in there, we got to acknowledge it. Hey, shout out to him.
that was an amazing.
Shout out to Keith Shep.
Let me hit that 50 real quick, and then
give me 50.
Yeah, supporting the show. Keep up the great work, Keith. You always do these for us, man, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, yeah, thank you, man. What was what was your takeaway? I guess I'll start with Law. What was your biggest takeaway from the game, Law? Breakdown wise.
Well, my biggest takeaway is the strategy wise. You know, at first I didn't understand it. You know, they ran the ball 3 times in a row, opening drive, and I'm sitting there like, hey, when we going to attempt to throw the ball? But it goes to show me that, you know, down the stretch, looking at the full picture, they wanted to get the offensive linemen settled. They wanted to make sure that Brock Hoffman and Bass would be okay and get settled in and slow down the temperaments of the pass rush from the Green Bay Packers. So my biggest takeaway, at least they had a plan. They didn't try to air it out. They didn't try to go at it that way. And they tried to slow the game down. And I like that plan altogether. But I didn't enjoy it, you know, for the first 2 series. But after the first 2 series, I was like, okay.
Hey, real quick on that. I will 100%. I believe this. I don't need anybody to tell me. I 100% believe that was all because of Micah Parsons. You know he's going to be jacked. You know that he wants to wreck that game. They're playing on carpeting. He's healthy. That's the last thing. Let him wear him down a little bit early in the game.
Yeah.
Don't let him do anything to wreck the game before it even gets going. Like I totally felt like that was going to be the game plan early on. Because he certainly was very hyped for that game. He wanted to set the tone early. So that's the only thing I just wanted to jump in on that. I will always believe that's why they did that.
You're right.
And honestly, to the point where I don't even know that they cared that they ended up punting. I think they just didn't want him to come out and completely wreck everything immediately.
You're right,
we've
John.
seen that.
Yeah,
I remember it vividly. It's the most dominant defensive game I've covered. They were in Minnesota, and it was a night game, and Minnesota might even been undefeated at the time. And Micah, right from the very first snap, came out and dominated the first series. And I remember he had this huge sack from the backside on Kirk Cousins. And man, it totally quieted that building. And the Cowboys just took off from there on out. And I know that Shotty did not want to allow that to happen.
Man, you're right. And the reason why I'm saying that is because now I get a chance to see what other teams see when they facing Parsons. You got to plan around him. The guy was everywhere. 8 pressures. It's really crazy in one game. And being able to get the 1 sack there. So, the Cowboys just they had to plan around him, and they did just that. And that was my biggest takeaway, just playing around Parsons and being able to go, as they say, blow for blow with the Green Bay Packers. And that was the 3rd-ranked defense in the National Football League at that time. So that was good.
To your point, add on to the plan situation. It wasn't just about Micah. I think it was the Packers defense in general. If you're going to talk about the plan, they and we heard them talk about this. We have a plan for him. We have a plan for them, is what Coach Shotty said. And I thought it was an excellent plan, and how they got guys chipping them. And this was kind of the opposite of what we saw years ago with when you had backup tackles in there like Chaz Green in Atlanta. I know that's easy, but how many times did we see and we were asking Jason Garrett, help, please help him. I didn't necessarily have to ask that in this game. You saw them helping with back. You saw them helping with tight ends. You saw them helping with, play action and moving the pocket and running away or running with somebody coming. There was almost always 2 guys or at least some type of action to get his eyes somewhere. This was a really good plan, Law. It wasn't just on Parsons in general, but Rashawn Gary neutralized. Like that.
That's a great point still.
It's funny
because he's really good.
When I went into this game, I said this on my show. I said, if you actually go watch Terrence Steele against Rashawn Gary in the playoffs, he was great against him. But I said I didn't have that confidence going into it this time around because the tackles pass blocking has been pretty, below average if we're being completely honest. And they've had some moments where it was some scary moments. And they both usually have done it throughout these games, but they've had moments too, though. And I was surprised. Rashawn Gary was pretty much neutralized again. Yeah. And Quay Walker wasn't a big factor. In fact, again, talk about the plan. Go look at that final drive, the go-ahead touchdown drive. You could see Shotty was attacking Quay Walker in the pass game in the middle of that field, just like they were attacking us in the middle of the field at the second level. So just to add on to your plans, Law and John, I thought that was A1. I'll be short with what my takeaway was. This defense is just hot garbage. And I'm tired of really looking at other opposing offenses and saying, well, you know what? This is what they do, and this is how we can stop it. They now have to prove to me They have to give me something to be positive about, that they can actually go out there for 4 quarters and be competitive defensively. Until then, how can I go into the next game with confidence in the defense that they're going to hold a team to below 20 points or 25 points? I don't have that confidence. So my biggest takeaway was your offense needs to be perfect. And when they're just a little bit below it, you still tie. That's how bad this defense is right now. 1 week it's the run game, or 1 week it's the linebackers, 1 week it's the corners, 1 week it's everything, y'all. It's everything. And they have to try to fix this thing, even if it takes 1 week at a time, one level at a damn time. And hopefully, we get some help. But that's my biggest takeaway. This defense is still terrible.
John?
Facts.
Yeah, no, I have no argument with that at all. That's the thing about like writing about this team. I feel like each week I've had to write something at some point in the week about how bad the defense is, and I'm trying to find new ways to write about it. So like for today, I wrote it comparing it to like 2020's defense.
I saw that.
That was obviously terrible defense. Kind of interesting how it's bookended Micah Parsons' time in Dallas. Speaking of which, one of my biggest takeaways was just as much as he got those pressures, like that was a great game plan against Micah Parsons, and he got the pressures, but I'm bigger on his body language and the way he was after the game. Like he was very disappointed. He thought he was going to wreck that game. You're down 2 starting offensive linemen. You're Micah Parsons. You think you're the best defensive player in the league. You're expecting to at least hit Dak at least one time to make a big play.
Oh, he did
not get home like that.
I
guarantee you that frustrated him, and it certainly seemed that way. I've never covered a tie before, so I was very interested in standing outside the locker room after the game to see kind of how the players and coaches were, and it was very much like a loss. And I didn't know how it was going to be, because for me personally, I was surprised. I thought they would lose by double digits to the Packers. So the fact that
you're not alone, John,
that they tied, I was just like, with how bad that defense is. I also, by the way, and I could have been completely wrong and they lose the game on this, I don't kick that field goal. I go for it on 4th and goal from whatever it was, the 4-yard. Like, I do not trust that defense is going to get a stop. And honestly, the best thing that helped the defense on that final drive is that it was very bad clock management by the Packers. Jordan Love was just kind of playing with his food, and they never took advantage of the opportunity. So to be tied, I was like, man, they should take that as a win, because I thought for sure that they were starting the season 1-3.
On the field goal. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
With that being said, though, too, something that probably won't get mentioned much from the Cowboys side, but I'm sure the Packers and their team and fans are talking about this a lot. Game-changing play.
Yeah.
Vontae Wyatt going out of that game with about 2.5 minutes to go and didn't come back in. It's 13-2 still at that time, and they were not the same. And let's not act like we don't know where their other top defensive tackle is, because he's with the Cowboys now. So you don't just grow them on trees like you've seen in Dallas for the last 15 years. Like, this is the best defensive tackles that the Cowboys have had in 15 years. Like, it's taken them a while to really load up there. The Packers were very strong there. Obviously, they traded Kenny Clark to get a generational talent in Micah Parsons. But when Wyatt went down, that defense was not the daunting defense that we've seen them be up until this point. And so I thought that was very interesting. They were able to take advantage of that. And maybe it was just a confidence boost or whatever. But and then obviously the biggest takeaway for me was that I'm not saying it's the best, but I've never seen Dak Prescott play better than he did in that game when you factor in the competition. Obviously he's had some monster statistical games playing like some Giants teams and some of those Commanders / Redskins teams in the past, but against that opponent, for how big that game was and the way he played, I thought he was damn near flawless.
Off topic, what's Dak's best game you ever seen outside of this one?
That Tampa Bay playoff game.
The Tampa Bay. I was going to say, that's my favorite game, the Tampa Bay game. Go ahead.
I mean, maybe it's recency bias, but all I heard last week was this defense was the best defense in the NFL. That's what I heard. Them in Cleveland. And Dak was not only unfazed, he was the best player on the field. And people are talking about Micah not having an impact. That's because Dak was just a step ahead. He was, because he's stepping up in the pocket. He's climbing the pocket. He's not taking sacks. He's not throwing the ball away. He's not doing goofy things. We talked about a few of those swing passes That's opening. That's stacking and pumping up Jordan Love's stat line. I mean, you get a swing and Josh Jacobs takes it for 30 yards and the backup running back takes it for 30 yards. 1,000%. Dak wasn't doing that. Dak is hitting hole shots. He's hitting Turpin. Don't forget, Nate Thomas took off a 20-yard pass to Turpin down the middle of the field.
He did.
Dot.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And for Dak, and I was just going to get to it, but for Dak and George Pickens to have this rapport, this fast, incredible. Incredible.
Shock me. This
so this is why it shocks me, because I think that I knew that George Pickens was good, but some of the throws that they're on the same page, like that little skinny, some quarterbacks aren't going to take those throws. Dak is like, man, bro, body positioning. He's sick. George Pickens has to be every bit of 6'4", y'all. He does not look 6'2" or 6'3". Yeah. Bro, he looks 6'4".
What's the one thing though that I will say about him? I wonder why he doesn't high point the ball, because at his frame, like you're just
that's what I'm saying, John. Like, why he has to be every bit.
You know what I think is a factor in it? His late hands are elite.
I was about to say,
he got good late hands. Yeah.
Where the DB doesn't know the ball's coming. But like that highlight pass up the left sideline, like he doesn't even really leave his feet. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, he would have mossed them dudes if he jumps. You know what I'm saying? Like, just
he has to turn around and do it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It still was a bucket drop to where, but it does depend on now if he gets down there and Dak just leaves it up there and he gets a chance to stop and turn around, he's jumping. You know what I'm saying? But he flashes late hands, and that's why you don't see it. But you get him a jump ball.
Big boy routes, man.
He got the strangest jack too, man. After yards, he gets busy with it.
It looks like he's slow, but he's running away from you.
I'm telling you,
I had to look up his 40 time again. I said, "He sure he's not a 4.5?"
He breaks tackles too, Law.
Everything about his game makes him so hard for me to comp anybody. He just plays like so different than anybody.
Surprised me, because we saw Dak do this earlier in his career. The only receiver who they brought in either late or off season and didn't technically work was Cooks. It took a while for Cooks and never really clicked. But when they brought in Cooper in the middle of the season, click. When they brought in Randall Cobb, got him paid. You know what I'm saying? Bring in George Pickens, about to get him paid too. So it doesn't really surprise me, especially because I think Pickens is quarterback friendly. You don't have to be super precise. You have to just put it in the area code and he'll deliver and take you home.
Damn, don't tell Justin Fields and Russell Wilson that.
I was just about to say that. They made Pickens look terrible. Pickens is going to have 1,200.
Pickens actually made them look better when they targeted him.
You know
what I'm saying?
Because he led the league in average yards.
Yeah.
Like
number one.
But think about it, though, fellas.
Well, the Neighbors must be the best receiver in the league.
Think about it like this. Yeah. Did we see Pickens run this route tree in Pittsburgh? He
said that. Yeah.
And honestly, he ran more routes in this game with CD out than he's run up to this point. And he was open about that too. That was going to happen. That he was going to get more opportunities like that. So he's making himself a lot of
great.
money.
He looked great, and I'm glad this guy brought up Brandon Cooks. I actually got another point that I put a pin in something this guy said. Okay. But he brought up something about Cooks, Law, and it's like, if you get to the tournament, right? If you just can claw there, you won't see Dak throwing to Cooks and him getting roughed off. Like, the one thing that I love about George Pickens is so Sky.
I know what play
he's physical.
I know what play he's talking about too. Yeah.
There was a play. There was a play on a run that went weak side where George Pickens just pushed the corner down. I recorded it. He just threw the corner. He just mushed him. Like, he has dog in him, bro. Like, and you love that in a receiver. So, and I will say this. I want to ask you guys just how do we feel about Shotty, the play caller? Because I think that I haven't seen an offense like this. I don't think since I've been watching the Cowboys, bro.
I like Shotty with inside the 20, but I don't like Schottenheimer inside the 5. He's still kind of like he get too cute.
You didn't like that they didn't run the ball? No.
Yeah, man. I don't
Let's
know.
talk about that.
Oh, he was pretty hard on himself about that too.
Was he, John? Was he?
Yeah, he didn't like the play calls either.
I agree. I'm glad.
Inside the 5, I agree, John. That he need to get.
That has to be two runs right there.
I don't care how bad things got. I wouldn't have called a timeout either. right off of that Jalen Tolbert catch, man, run something, get up to the line.
That's my biggest
But
problem.
so, John,
his timeouts have been a little weird over the first 3 games. Yeah. But so, I got an opinion on that if you want to talk about that. The red zone
just inside the 5. I like what he's doing out there in between the plays or what have you. It's just inside the 5. I think that what you touched on earlier about having that change of pace back, I think that would help out his offense as well. You know, being able to bring in somebody that's speedier, they got short area quickness, they can catch a wheel route here and there. I think that would elevate even Javonte Williams' game, even though we like what he's doing. I think that even when he gets inside the 5, utilize Hunter. You know, put him in there, get power sets, get pro sets, let's showcase our skills. He did
as a blocker though.
He's been digging them out. But stick to them bread and butter plays. I think he still need to find his bread and butter play. That's what he needs to do.
And there.
Really? So in the red zone, you mean the goal? Here's the thing. We should have ran it multiple times. I agree with that. Some people were saying run it 3 times. No. Dak was cooking. He was cooking that defense. I understand that. But here's the other thing that I didn't realize until I went back and watched, y'all.
Okay.
I know nobody want to hear this, and this is more necessarily being nitpicky to Dak. Ferguson was wide open.
Ooh.
Ferguson was the play.
Which one?
The play that Micah tackled?
The third down.
No.
The one that Dak threw out of bounds.
Ferg was wide open. Oh. Here's the issue I have with Dak, and I don't call it an issue. Let me rephrase the word, because you want to have trust in your guys. It's 3rd down. Game pretty much on the line, right? Like you can score here and feel pretty confident that they need a touchdown. I'm not confident they're going to stop it, but they need a touchdown now, not 3. I hate that we're looking towards Javonte Williams and Brian Flournoy. On the other side, you got Jake Ferguson and George Pickens. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't play the position, so I'm not trying to but there's no way in hell for the game. I don't give a damn what Javonte Williams and Ryan Flournoy got going on. Finding a way to make this happen with my 2 best players out there right now. And what happened was, and I get what, and again, that's why I'm not trying to get on him too much. It was a delay release for Ferg in a sense on a mesh concept. And as guys are moving around and stuff, it actually was quote unquote covered, if you will, but it got uncovered real quick and Ferg got wide open.
Yeah, it's because the reason I hated it is because the play looked like George Pickens was out there just to run like a clear out route.
Yeah,
George Pickens is in the zone right now.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point
to him.
John.
And
that's the other thing. We didn't need to. He didn't like the call because it was too much going on, bro. Keep it simple, stupid.
Run the ball.
Run the ball before, but if you're going to throw it on the 3rd down, which you should, you don't run it right there. You throw the ball, then get 1-on-1 over here with Pick. Let me put Jake Ferguson either lined up on the line and now I got 1-on-1 out here, or I got Ferg underneath on the high low, or I got Ferg in front of me. That's where I'm going. Like I'm going to my money guys because those guys get it done in the red zone. So
Scott, in your opinion, do you like traffic up front when you down close, or you like them to run it behind them? You know what I'm saying? Like far as giving the defense some eye candy.
When it's short and condensed like that, it doesn't trip them up as much. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to trip them up as much because you got 7 defenders in a 12 yards.
They have the end zone as a defender too. The defense does.
And the backfield. So you don't have a whole. It wasn't even 12 yards. Really, what was it? 10? It wasn't much. But I'm not a fan. I wasn't a fan of the call. But Ferg got open.
Mesh is a man beater, and the problem is most good defenses with a pass rush like that are just going to zone you up.
Great.
And they're going to, and so, and I didn't even catch that. Sky's a good catch.
I'm going to go back and watch it.
I think if there is one thing that was shoddy, and I just want him to calm down in those moments. You're right, Law. And I'm not saying he's hype, but the best thing is just hand the ball to 30. If 33 gets stopped twice, okay, cool. But the way 33's been running, right? Like, he's showing you still the offseason, like, for this team. Because for on $1 million deal,
it might be Pickens.
I think for what you paid for Javonte is Javonte, bro. You're not in these games without Javonte Williams. Because if you can't run the ball, this play action.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't say all that now.
I don't think
Dak
so.
Prescott be in many of these games without a run game. Foots.
No. We had hold on. Well, we have Sky, but the problem is you now have if you're not running the ball against Green Bay and you're in 2nd and 9, 2nd and those long down and distances. I'm not saying he can't do it, Sky, but that run game is important. The way he's running the ball,
but you said he couldn't do it. And I'm saying we've seen him.
No, I didn't say he couldn't do it. I said
you said we're not in these games without the run game. I've seen Dak Prescott be in all these
versus
games
this defense.
Versus top defenses in
Name
this
one
before. Baltimore Ravens, I've seen him do it. Cleveland Browns, I've seen him.
When was he in the game? When we in the game
as
with
a
a
rookie,
good one?
I've seen him do that. But we
had a good run game.
You're right about that.
Yeah, we had a good run game as a rookie.
But we haven't had good run games for how many years, and we've played well. So I've seen it happen.
I'm just okay. Let me rephrase it. Versus a defense of this level, because this is a really good defense, and the fact that you were able to run the ball at these guys, you ran the ball at Micah Parsons. I just think that Javonte has added to that. And, the fact to me is if we can just at some time, bro, just slow the game down, like just slow down, Shotty, just hand the ball. If you don't get it, that would be my only, that was like my only concern, honestly. Let's get to the sleeper read and then we'll get to our winners and losers, because it was a tie. It was a tie, y'all. But there was no winner, there was no loser. So we got to talk about both in this game, and we'll talk about some individual players. But did you guys, anybody use sleeper this weekend? Anybody in the chat? And if you did, tell me about sleeper. Sky Law, how do y'all feel about sleeper? No.
Oh, well, shoot.
Don't we got a commercial with it?
Oh, you know what? We do got I'm being a terrible host. You know what? Last time it didn't play. Let's see if it plays here.
Sleeper is the #1 fantasy sports app. It pays to know sports. Pick more or less on top players. Your first pick is on us, so start winning now. Play in Texas, Georgia, Minnesota, and 27 more states. Pick anytime across all sports, pregame or live. Over 10 million players are already on Sleeper. Make your picks count. Score up to 1,000 times your cash. Join today. Get up to $100 credit using the code HMA. Call your shot on Sleeper. Download now.
Yo.
Hey, you know the thing about sleeper? I will say this. Because I knew the defense was going to be bad, I just played all Green Bay stuff.
Hey, as the game was going on, I got Romeo Dobbs. I started him. I picked him up like last week or something. I said, I'm starting him. And guess what I'm starting this week? Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Garrett, too. You know what? Is Romeo Dobbs the only one that wear that pillowcase as a helmet, John?
Yes.
No, him and Savion Williams. Oh, bro. I was like, get this trash off my football field. Bro, it looked like a blanket.
Does it really
on
work?
Head.
I mean, if it works.
All my kids.
Pickens wears all the time in practice.
All my kids wear the
so
caps.
Pickens do have it in practice.
Yeah, he wears all the time in practice.
All my whole team wears them, but I hate them. I hate the way it
work,
look.
man. Shouts out to him.
Yeah.
That shit look crazy.
It looked like a bobblehead out there. You can tell where they going.
Bro, that was funny. Hey, so let's get to a few winners and losers. Who wants to start? Because we got to talk some. We talked some good. Now we got to talk some bad. Who was bad? Let's start with Law Nation. Law Nation Sports.
We'll losers first.
Let's go losers. Who is your loser from this game?
Consensus with this one, but go
okay. But I got to go with a combination. And y'all can beat me down with it. Is Sanborn and Murray, in my opinion.
Mine was literally the whole line, all the linebackers.
Linebacker. I'm just gonna tell you right now. Linebacker.
I'll pivot. But go on.
Go ahead. Yeah,
I'm just gonna tag them in, because when you have them as your leading tacklers, and them yards depths down the field. I remember, I'll never forget my guy Sky would break down the film of LVE because people were saying, hey, he led the team in tackles, but look at the depths of where they was tackling at, and teams are targeting these guys in the middle of the field. They can't cover. Now, just to put some cover over this, they can fit and hit okay, but they just can't cover. And they are my losers of this game. If we had better linebacker play, we win this game.
Yeah, I think the linebackers are fine for like the 90s on back.
Oh, okay.
But like with today's football, like you got to play so much outside of the box
Yeah.
That's just not their strength at all. That's why, as much as with Leofau that he plays with his hair on fire, so it leads to mistakes. I'm almost willing to just deal with those because at least it's got the athleticism there that you can see him with Overshown, and you're like, I can at least see that there. But man, that's just another part that, I mean, a lot of it that's on Eberflus. I mean, that's his group. That's his specialty as linebacker. He wanted Sanborn. He obviously wanted Murray, and it just hasn't been very good at all. And yeah, this game was a huge example of that.
Yeah, I'll add right on to it. All of them had moments in this game, and with Sanborn having the most, but they had multiple moments where it's just like, dude, this is awful.
Hey, on another podcast I asked the guys this, so I'm going to ask you guys the same thing. So the Overshown doesn't count. I'm the general manager of the Dallas Cowboys, and I come up to you and I'm like, we have to sign one of these linebackers for the next 4 years, and it's got to be on like a respectable linebacker deal. Which one are you signing? Anybody on that roster, but not Overshown.
Oh, Maris.
Nobody. I mean, why do we have to do it? What's the stipulations?
He's got to sign one.
It's just a way to show, like, all right. So who do you think even out of that group is the best of the group?
I used to have a dog way back in the days, many moons ago. So don't come after me, y'all. And I stayed on 4 acres of land. We used to have this cage with a rope onto it with a chain. And when we let that dog up out of that cage and rope, he get to running. That's who Mears Leofau is. He's a dog that's off his leash, just running around. And eventually, once he gets used to the terrain, he will slow down. So Mears Leofau is my guy. So that's how I look at him. He's that dog that's been locked up in a chain and a rope or what have you, and now he's released. Don't come after me, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I love all animals, but don't peter me.
Oh yeah, do not mess with the dog crew. Law said this about dog guy. He puts his dog on a leash. Now.
Yeah, don't come after me. But I just look at it like that. I think that he has good upside to a point and to a degree. Overshown and Mears Leofau, I think that the Cowboys need to really go into getting the linebacker to save this season if they're really serious about this year.
Yeah, I think we've all talked about this too. At this point, what do you got to lose to throw the Young Bucks out there? Because here's my thought on this. At least those guys have playmaker traits. And what I mean is Murray and Sanborn are not going to they don't want to make any plays. They're just not. They might make a tackle. They might be in the way somewhere, but Leofau has that just ferociousness he plays with where if he lays one good hit, that's a fumble. If you could blitz him, sack, he can drop back, maybe get a pick. The young buck, you wanted out there, Law. Was it Jamar James?
Jamar James.
James is green as all hell. You know, he's looking lost out there sometimes too, but he has the athleticism as well to, hey, go through the troubles you'll go through with them because maybe they'll reward you at least with a play or two. I don't see a play or two being made by no damn Murray and Sanborn at this point.
I think Murray's out there because he knows the defense.
Same thing with Sanborn.
He's the green dot, and so he's the guy that with the defensive group that has so much communication issues, they're probably like, this is the best that we have on the communication side. So he has to be out there. That's the only thing that makes sense to me right now.
At some point, do Eberflus got a say in this and say, hey, these guys are just not good?
I think he just go and just bang the say. I think these are the guys he wanted.
He's the problem of his own self, right? He said, "Oh, these." I
don't think they're bringing in Kenneth Murray, Jack Sanborn, Kyer Elam. If Matt Eberflus doesn't want those guys,
he missed on Sanborn. Sanborn, he's a backup, and he was a backup for a reason.
Almost every one of these defensive guys, except Solomon Thomas, right? I mean. I'm thinking of all the defensive guys we brought in the offseason.
Well, Jerry had to step in and go get Kenny Clark.
Yeah, Jerry would just say
the GM.
Hey, my loser, 100% Kyer Elam. Just I'm out on bro. Like just no football awareness. The camp stuff was cool, holding up the baby to God. Great job. Christening babies, do it. Kyrie, love you, man, but you are out of there because this dude.
He's like, no, I'm not. Who's taking that?
He got sensitive ears too, boy.
Oh, yes, he do, Law. Yes, he do. Yes, he does. I've heard that.
There's probably a party that's like, well, who are you putting in over me?
Oh, for
Jalen
sure.
Carson.
Valentine or Valentine, whoever that guy.
Hey, what's up with Josh Butler? When is he?
He's still rehabbing. He could be coming back within the next couple of weeks, he's still.
We're calling for Josh Butler.
This is sad. Bro, we are seriously like, hey, man, Josh Butler come back from the ACL. Come on, y'all. I love Josh Butler's story, but come on, y'all. Hey, man, when Siobhan Ravel, that rookie, come back from his ACL, come on, man.
My man Josh Butler on TikTok making albums.
Hey, Sky, you know, we are that clip that we play every year. It's about time for us to upload it. When old boy saying, how much is for a rib? You know, somebody need to go ahead.
Here's my problem with Elam, right? Elam, it's like you know on Madden you have the awareness, the speed, the agility, the ball track, pass breakup. Yeah. Well, his pass breakup all the way down. Like it's probably like a 37. Awareness, probably a 35. He's fast. You see the athleticism, nice build, built the right way. But good Lord, Kyer, do you know the down and distance? Are you gonna jump a pass? I went back and watched. He's given up a 20-yard pass in every game.
Every
game, bro. And in the Giants game, he gave up multiple. And so the sad thing about Kyer Elam is, everything Bills fans told us was true. I got it. I got everything. The confidence. I don't know if he just doesn't work on ball drills because that play.
He's just not that good. like sometimes we don't even gotta be scientific about it, bro. He's not. He's not.
That play to Romeo Dobbs. By the way, turned into Randy Moss versus the Cowboys, but
Dobbs Moss to everybody, didn't he?
Bland, he definitely got. Bland struggles on those fades, bro. Yes.
I want to get your thoughts, Foots. Bland
healthy though.
Bland was almost there though.
Bland wasn't good either though.
You know what I'm talking about? You DB. Bland was almost there taking that pick six.
Oh yeah, Bland is sea legs. Bland is sea legs. You're right, Law. Have no issues with Bland. Him struggling, I'm cool. He didn't play well, but I'm not gonna messy, y'all. I don't want to get messy. But I do. I want to focus on Kyer Elam. The one play that really burns me up is when you need to get that stop, and the way he was playing it, because he's in off technique, so you're already in position for that skinny post. And the only thing that he could have ran was that little sneaky end breaker, and you let him do it, bro. Like Kyer, why? You know what I mean? So that's what I'm at. Go ahead, let's get messy, Sky.
Won't get messy.
Fight. Go ahead. I know there's gonna be something about Diggs and him not being healthy, but Bland.
Hey, you.
But here's my only thing with Bland. I'm at least seeing him break on footballs. I haven't seen anybody else break on the ball. Can y'all show me one play where we've seen a DB break on a football?
Yeah, the one where Diggs got the interception.
He definitely got that one. And
you can't have 12 guys on the field on defense.
Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key. If we can play with 12 guys, we can get some turnovers, man.
By the way, that was a heads-up play by Jordan Love.
Yeah.
When they keep saying these last couple of weeks that just broken record of turnovers come in bunches, I'm just like, what team is going to give them a bunch of turnover? Maybe it's the Jets. Maybe the Jets are that bad, but I'm just like, what team?
Oh, the Jets are bad, bro.
What are they going to give them bunches of turnovers?
Look, the Jets good because I'm not going to fall into that again. No way.
I'm not going to do it. If you lose to the Jets, pack this show up. We doing draft season. Pack this show up. I'm saying, turn this to the Cowboys Collective draft, bro. I'm not doing this with this team. If they go out and lose
about the Jets and the Panthers, really.
Hey, John, both. Trash can juice.
This is a big couple of weeks here for the
draft. You cannot get these 2 wins.
Like I just said, until this defense gives me a reason, we can't take. Come on, you know what I'm saying? Come on.
Hey, still. I was watching that game last night, trying to find reasons, and I'm like, yeah, they gonna fire my man. They gonna fire, bro. Oh, they're gonna fire Aaron Glenn.
Nah, Aaron gonna get a year or two.
Hey,
Man, that team may not win a game, bro.
If Aaron Glenn is
the defense
fired,
is
I
terrible.
would love for him to be the DC here. But here's the crazy
That's a good
thing.
point, Lo.
Schottenheimer said this morning, and I listened to the presser. He was like, "Yeah, any given Sunday, football is week to week. We may win a game 10-3." And I'm sitting here like, how? Did y'all hear him say that today? John, did you hear him say that?
No.
he said
10-3.
He said we could possibly win a game 10-3. Somebody help me out in the chat. He literally said that today in his press.
I think sometimes Shotty is trying to motivate his guys through the media.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's not. It's funny because there'll be times he's brutally honest, but he won't cross the line.
Right.
And I don't know how to feel about that. I guess that's fine or whatever, because I don't want you to cross the line. I don't want you. But there's times he'll be like, yeah, I had a conversation with Mozzie. I had a conversation with Clowney. Yeah, it was tough. Hey, we need to see more consistency from XYZ, Blue or whatever. But then it's like, hey, man, I got confidence, y'all. We can win a game 10-3. Wink, wink. Like, come on.
I'll say this: Dallas found their head coach. Shotty's going to be a darn good head coach.
Like Shotty.
Yeah, I haven't wavered, and you know why I haven't wavered on Shotty? Because he hasn't wavered. Man, be who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when Sky was just saying the stuff about him talking about the consistency and things like that, and some of the stuff he said about not playing Clowney or having a tough talk with Diggs or whatever like that. That he won't go past that line in on the podium or at the table, because if he did, that would be so out of character for him that people would just see right through and be like, "What are you doing? You're not this guy that's just going to throw somebody under the bus and just take shots and stuff like that." It's just not his personality. So I do think it's good that he stays true to who he is, and he has since the day he's walked in the building.
Think about last week with the Green Bay stuff. He didn't waver. He didn't sound one bit of scared. It wasn't, I don't know how we're going to win this game.
I mean, why would he go out and say that?
No, I mean, but a lot of coaches, we all have to respect, man. If you are a confident coach, be that. Like he called it. We can beat Green Bay without CD, and they tied.
I really thought Green Bay after those first 2 weeks was about to be one of those. Yeah, this is going to be like a 15-win type season, and I thought they would be on that level. But I look across the NFL, I really don't see a team that's like that. To be honest,
look, the NFL they're smiling ear to ear right now. They're like, this is exactly what we want. Parity.
Yeah,
we want anybody can beat anybody in this league. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Let's get positive here. Let's talk about a few winners.
Hey, I will also say when you sent the text out about the winners and losers, the first one I did think of, I know Cowboys fans don't care, but I did think of Micah, because I don't think that like I said earlier, that was anywhere close to the game that he thought he was about to have. And I think if he does have that game, the Packers win, and they probably win big. Like I really think that they felt like they'd come out early, wreck shop, and just kind of coast the rest of the way. And I think that really lasted all the way until like the last couple of minutes of the first half when they went on that roll. Because one play I'll always remember from this game is that blocked extra point. And when those NBC cameras panned to Steven and Jerry, I felt like they were all Cowboys fans, where it was just like, yeah, sweet, dude. Nobody cares. Like,
wow, they were
13-2, crazy. Here comes the comeback. Didn't care at all.
But that's pathetic.
You just saw how that game was going,
that's pathetic, because you needed something like that. That really should fire you up, because it was looking like it was about to be a blowout, and I think all Cowboy fans was like, here we go again. Now I think
I'm just saying that I don't think anybody saw that play and was like, wait a second.
Anybody who?
They're back. Anybody that knows ball.
Yeah, I was like,
anybody that has eyes and was watching the game.
I was disheveled when these.
I did not think that was any.
I'm with John 1000, bro. I was looking at it
after
like
the fact. I don't look at that like, man, I got to write my whole story about how that sparked this win. Like,
Law said it. Law said it.
Y'all missing the forest for the trees. That was huge.
No, it was a big.
Yeah,
it was a big
huge.
play. I think what happened was the way the game was going.
You
think about it. You came out. First of all, the field position.
Why getting injured was huge.
I mean, there's what's the one that keep me right? 5 plays that changed. Like that is one of them. Like that's one. You can't just be like, I had nothing. We literally tied. If you don't block the kick, you lose the game.
You lose the game.
That's old story.
Yeah.
Here was my thing about that part. The early part of the game is Law said it. It did feel like you were just like, let's just see how they play us. Let's just not call anything down the field. And it was like, if this is gonna be the game plan, But I also do agree with Sky that block was huge, and the return it was
fourth
good.
and 2 at midfield and didn't go for it.
And didn't go.
Did anybody tell them what this is? Like, are you kidding me right now? You're going to punt against this defense? Literally, hike the ball, throw it up behind you. Something good is going to happen for you. That was bizarre to me when they punted that ball.
The end of the overtime was bizarre. I was sitting here like, what?
They did not attack us, Sky.
They attacked us until they got to like the 20, and I'm like, what are y'all doing?
It was bad.
They when I say they didn't have any urgency, especially
he said that too. I think LaFleur said, I don't know why we were out there with no urgency. Well, you called a damn screen, you nut. Like, what? But hey, that's doing them. This is for talking Packers.
Yeah,
fucking Packers.
So here's my winner from this game. George freaking Pickens, man. We talked about it earlier, but this is why you got him for sure. And I think for me, it does make you think. I think that it's not, I don't want to say this because I know people, I don't want everybody just take a deep breath before I say this. Hey, you got the hat?
Yeah, I got it, man.
I want everybody to take a deep breath before I say this. It makes you think like, man, maybe you could just keep CD stagnant and keep George on one side and keep CD just solely in the slot and just win. Maybe that's too early for that. I just really like seeing George Pickens in a true X role, and it was good versus now they picked on Nate Hobbs a lot, and that's what they were supposed to do. I mean, he was my winner from this game. Now, who was your guys' winner? George Pickens was freaking amazing, bro. He was amazing.
Yeah, it's not George, it's Dak.
Okay.
Can I go group?
Yeah.
Offensive line was the winner. You know, they kept Dak upright, even though Dak is the guy that moved the ball all around. They held down the number 3 defense in the National Football League. So I give it to the offensive line. Clayton Adams, Connor Riley, all of those boys, you know.
How do you feel about like a huge play late in the game where you're just going to have Jake Ferguson straight up blocking Micah Parsons?
That's
I was trying to stay positive, John. Don't do it.
That was a
why? What are we doing?
I watched that play in slow motion. You saw how Parsons just grabbed his arm and just said, "Get that arm off of me."
He's not a tackle. This is why you don't block a defense. You don't block an all-pro with the tight end.
That was maybe the most baffling call. Sure.
Yeah,
you
don't
running for his life.
That you don't.
Who's the greatest blocking tight end of all time? I don't like.
They can't block Micah Parsons.
Mercedes Lewis.
There you go. Yeah, there you go.
Gronk probably can
Gronk, but I go Mercedes Lewis, and that's just in my time. I mean, I'm sure there's somebody from 1960s.
And I like Gronk, but he's too tall and lumbering.
Gronk had all of that robot equipment on his arm.
Marcellus Bennett was a good one too, by the
way. Yeah, that's a good one.
Who's your winner, Sky? This game.
If we're gonna go group, and I was gonna go with one person, and then I said, I have to do the group because I just make it fun. All right, let's not be low hanging fruit. I'm gonna go with the special teams. And Kevontae Turpin. Let's start with him because Kevontae Turpin. I'm gonna include 2 sides for him: offense and special teams. Kevontae Turpin had over 200 total yards of total yards. Period. 175 special teams yards on returns, and obviously the big one to set you up for the game, the go ahead should have been a game winner. The go ahead touchdown, 45-yarder. He had 175 return yards, y'all. I mean, that's massive. But he also contributed majorly in the second half with some huge catches. I know the line looks like 3 for 30, but it's 3 first down catches, 2 of them on third down. Kevontae Turpin stepped up, obviously not necessarily in CeeDee Lamb's role of numbers, but he stepped up when he needed to be, when he was called upon, and he could have had more if it wasn't some pressure. I know a lot of people were saying Dak missed him wide open, but if you actually go look, Dak stepped up and had to dip, and when he dipped and went out, you can't make that throw cost you by. That's how you throw interceptions. But so I got Kevontae Turpin. I also got Brandon Aubrey. I know it sounds crazy, 1 kick. Brandon Aubrey was tripping them up with that new rule shit. I still don't know how it works, but I just kept hearing them say, there goes again, Brandon Aubrey, kicking it right inside the 5 and then bouncing back in. Yeah. And they had to keep starting at like the 20. I saw that a couple times and I thought, damn, it's so amazing to have a weapon. But here's the other part. Let me tell you how crazy of a weapon Brandon Aubrey is. LaFleur was scared as hell to kick a field goal too fast and leave time on the clock in overtime. Those boys were willing to tie the ball game because of Brandon Aubrey. If you think about it, they didn't want to leave no time, because if they really wanted to go for the gusto, they would have sped that up and said, cool, we don't get it, we kick the field goal. But if you leave any sliver of time, any time to get a play or two off, all it takes is to get to that 50, and Brandon Aubrey can win you that damn game. So he's a weapon. And then no one talks about it, but Brian Anger, he had 4 punts and he averaged 48 yards per punt, and they only averaged 5.5 yards per punt return. These small little things, add up to helping you win this ball game. So I'll go to special teams if we're going to go a group. I got to include all three of those guys. They played a major factor. All
right, if we're going under the radar, we got to throw. We might not have to give all the flowers, but we need to give at least a flower to one single flower to Jalen Tolbert.
I knew you were gonna say that. Yeah.
I mean, that was a crazy.
I'll raise my hand.
And if we're being honest, it should have been a play that helped them win the game. I mean, you got to score a touchdown off of that type of momentum.
In the 5-yard line.
Nobody watching that. Maybe on TV it looked different, but like in the stadium, nobody thought that ball was anything but being thrown away. And for him to sit there and come out of nowhere and grab that, I was like, damn, like that was. I mean,
he's been sneaky good.
Play. One more game like that, John. Do you think that raises? And don't shank me with the butter knife, guy.
No, he's good.
Do you think one more game like that from Tolbert? Do you think that raises his trade value?
You're not trading Tolbert.
No, they're not going to trade him. No,
trade him though.
You're right.
No, I think right now is a great example why you don't, is because if everybody's healthy, then it doesn't matter as much. But like at any moment, CD can go down, Pickens can go down. Like he's still a good, solid receiver. He's not obviously going to be your 1 or 2. And a lot of people argue that he's not a 3, but I think he's in that conversation, a 3-4 type guy, especially when you have those 2 top guys like that.
Right.
I think he's. I don't think that there'd be a lot you get in return to why you'd want to do that anyway.
Sunday night is why I said, look, y'all could argue about where you want to put him in the room, but I think he needs to be in the room.
Yeah,
because he does.
You were
stuff
consistent
like that.
about that.
And I won't fight you on putting guys above him, but keeping them in. I don't see the harm in having them in the room. Also, how can I forget? We're talking about special teams. The block kick for 2. So like the special teams, that I got to include that inside of.
The thing about Tolbert, good point, Scott.
Save that damn block for late in the game when you need it. No. When he was kicking that 53-yarder, I was like, why? Yeah, we're block that, maybe line him up on the other side.
Bro, that there couldn't have been a kick more perfect. Like that thing, that joint went right down the middle.
Dude, just question for y'all: do y'all ever feel like anybody's ever going to miss in that building? I feel like every big kick.
That's kind of the NFL, though, to me right now. I don't feel like any of these kickers, especially when I watch.
Outside is a different story.
Especially when you watch Saturday all day college football, and then you go to Sunday, and you're just like, I'm gonna go get something to eat. I already know he's gonna be. I mean, even just the way the Packers we're like, wow, we're good, 53. Just hand it off, Jacobs. We'll be good from here. And I'm just like,
it's been happening for
you're
years,
good from 53. Okay, here we. And then he just drills it.
To your point about
even outside, who's the kicker for Tampa Bay?
Tampa Bay, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, that's crazy. What about like Chicago, Pittsburgh? Like those are like real. I think you have advantages there. I see sometimes in Philly, but those kickers, I think if you look at the numbers, I'm pretty sure it's a little tougher. But our ability,
no. If you're outdoors on grass and there's wind and stuff like that, absolutely. I mean, I've seen some kicks that Brandon Aubrey, even this year at training camp, kicks, and you're just like, what is that? Like, I'm talking like from 50, 55, and it's short because there's wind, things like that.
And it gets windy down
him
there.
in Washington, he's had some games where you're just like, whoa, is that Brandon Aubrey or somebody else steal his uniform? Yeah. But I'm talking about those indoor kicks. Like, these guys are super confident from probably 55, 60 in.
I think about the Raiders game. I think about the Packers playoff game where the Raiders kicker just kept going out there from 50 plus and just nailing it. I'm just like, you're right. Let me go get something to drink.
I want to.
You guys see that Vic Fangio clip from today?
Yeah. I heard about that. A long retweet. I didn't necessarily.
Yeah, he was just talking about how like because they're able to work with these kicking balls in practice, and then they're able to use them for 3 games, and then you got to use a different one. That everything about the kicking game he's compared it to when they were juicing the baseballs, and there was that home run, derby basically between McGuire and Sosa. And he goes, I mean, that guy in Dallas, he's going to make one from 70 plus this year.
But can you imagine he griping about that and they got the tissue?
Oh, that's why I tweeted it out. Yeah.
That was June.
I want to say this. I want to say this about Tolbert. I think you can feel this way about Tolbert because you're not depending on him, right? Like you don't go in and you're like, man, we need Tolbert to have a great game. It's like, oh, he's out there, cool. Oh, look at that play Tolbert made. Tolbert, right. Oh, I forgot. Because you have a guy that, like, let's think about it. I was about to say, you depended, hey, Scott, you needed George to play good this game, and he played good. Thank you for the show. We will talk to y'all next week now on Thursday. But in all seriousness, you needed Pickens to be a guy, and Pickens was like, hold my beer. I got it. So that's why you don't worry about Tolbert. But to Scott's point, you do need him in the room because if for nothing else, Dak feels comfortable throwing him the ball.
I just get nervous.
So what do you get nervous when he throws it. You don't think he's a 3?
I think that I would like Devontae Turpin to be this 3. I would like my ideal world for this offense the offense is already top 10. I want this offense to be the best offense in the league. I would like it to be Turpin.
Technically,
is it the best offense in the league?
Number one.
Technically,
right now.
Yeah. Right now. Yeah.
Right now.
Okay. If we sneak in the tournament, Sky, these are my 3 in 11 personnel. Devontae Turpin, CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens a whole year. John, tell me how you stopping that. What defense in the league is going to stop that? You just put up 40 on the best defense on the top 3 defense in the league.
But we said that's what it was going to be for us. We said
Scott, I ain't gonna hold you. I might told you so, guy. I didn't see it looking like this. Looks crazy, bro.
I'm talking. No, you did. We all talked about how the receiver hierarchy was going to go out there. It's going to be Lamb, Pickens, Ferg as targets, and then Turpin was going to be that other guy. Then Tolbert and Mingo and all those other dudes are going to be the auxiliary pieces, and that's kind of how it's playing out.
Let me ask you this.
What's your thoughts on how they use Mingo? I mean, not Mingo, but Ryan this last game. How y'all?
It was good. It was good. Another like I forgot about you. Yeah, like nice. Yeah. But let me ask you this still. Did you see number 1 offense? I didn't see number 1 offense.
I said the Cowboys are going to be a top 5 pass. It's going to be elite passing offense. I thought our run game would be better, but I didn't know it was going to be this good, this fast.
It's efficient.
I mean, no, I didn't see number 1 right away. I thought we'd have potential number 1 passing offense, which technically we do, but the running game complement makes this offense that much more dangerous. But to circle it all back, if we can get that second dude, I think that changes.
So we coming back to my intro.
Whole lot more scary.
Since we're going overtime, John still has a smile on his face. When he starts frowning, then
we got a super chat too to go to.
Okay, we'll get it. Let me ask you this, guy. I tweeted this, and I wonder if you saw it. We'll get to these supers as well, guys. But we in a zone, so we'll stay in this flow state. Sky, if you're not gonna trust Jaden Blue, do you give Phil Maffa some bump when he gets off of IR?
Suppose if you trust him, because clearly it ain't about talent. Think about it. It ain't about talent. The talent that Jaden Blue has is not in question. I think this is about trust. So if they trust Phil Maffa and Miles Sanders, be damn. Yeah, I mean, you could throw him in. I don't think it changes your dynamic. I just think you have 2 hammers. I'm more so looking for a lightning. But if you're telling me, hey, all I'm going to give you is Maffa and who else is the Davis? That's all I'm going to give you. Yeah, let me see what the other hammer got now. So, but that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a compliment to Javonte Williams, and I think a guy like Jaden Blue with that skill set would be a better compliment. But I mean, we don't have many options. If they don't trust him and they trust Maffa, then you throw him out there, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it could be something where, I mean, I'm just throwing out hypotheticals. I'm not saying there's any truth to any of this, but if there's things that he's doing, Jaden Blue, I'm talking about, that aren't on the level and standard that you're holding everybody else to, you can't just throw them out there.
Right.
That totally takes away everything that you're building. You know what I'm saying? Like, the guys would be looking at you like, really? You're doing this? Like, do we really, like, this is what we're doing right now? I thought you said that this and this had to happen, and this is the program that we're building. So I kind of go back and for me, it's kind of the same with like Mozzie Smith. I always think that probably factored in too when he was inactive early in the season. There's probably certain things that he was doing that's like, it's not just about you and that player. It's about what it says for the rest of the team, that these guys see it too. They know when guys are ready to play and ready to contribute. So it's more than just, there's a coach that has this, vendetta against this player or whatever like that. I mean, I think if Jaden Blue was doing everything the way they wanted him to, I find it very hard to believe that they wouldn't be trying to get him not only active, but get him 5 to 8 touches per game. And I do think that day will come, but I think that they need to see something from him behind the scenes to make it to that level. And so the way Schottenheimer was talking, though, it does sound like he's close, though, like within the next week or so. And it would make sense to, not this game, the Carolina game, to get him out there. And
you know what?
If he messes up, but try and get a, like you said, like a little compliment to the running game. Because I don't think that you're just going to be Javonte Williams is going to be Ezekiel Elliott 2016. Like, you got to get him a compliment.
You know what, John? Looking back at Jaden Blue's tape, like even in college, he gonna fit the same role he did in college here, and that's going to be a good thing for him. Good change of pace, good hard runner out in space, fast, elusive. I think it's going to be good for us.
I would bet, and I am as well. I want to see Jaden Blue, but I would bet that he's missing the protections. It's something with the scheme because the way that 4 is playing, we love and want to see Jaden Blue. You go out there and miss an assignment and get 4 blindsided. You go out there and this is knock on wood. You go out there and miss something. Then it's just like, what are we doing? And so,
there's a lot of things. And again, I'm not talking about Jaden Blue. I'm just talking about just in general, like covering a team for 15 years. There could be a player that they're fumbling the ball. They're putting the ball on the ground in practice. And you're just like, man, I don't know if we want to put that out there on Sunday. That's a game-changing play if that happens on Sunday. Let's keep working on this, whatever, And again, I'm not saying that that's what he's doing, but they're not telling us what the reason is other than that there's a lack of consistency.
I just think they don't trust him. I mean, we don't know what entails at the details, but we're talking about a position that in reality is one of the more easier positions to come into the league and have success right away with. I'm not trying to diminish anybody that makes it to the NFL. But that position, just let's be real about it. A lot of rookies or young players can have success, even if it's a small role. The fact that he's not even getting a role tells me that they have no trust right now, or the minimal trust, and they're working on it in whatever it may be.
And you know what, Scott? I appreciate the staff for doing this. This is how football has to be.
Yeah,
like
you. Yeah. I mean, what do you want me? I want to see. If he ain't ready. I'm sorry, I can't.
Football has to be that way, guys. And I know there's fans get Jaden Blue, get him Jaden, but like John says, everything you preached, if you just throw him out there and he's not ready, those guys are looking at you like, oh, that ain't it.
Yeah, you got Trayvon Diggs isn't starting games because there's things that they don't like about him, but they're going to just throw Jaden Blue out there. Why'd you do that, Coach? Well, I'm on X a lot, and these fans are like, oh, we're going to see Jaden Blue out there. And I was like, all right, I'm going to get Jaden Blue out there for you guys.
Let's get to these supers, guys. What a great show. Given this game last night, did Flournoy push Mingo down the depth chart? I just think that I honestly, bottom line, this is actually a good one. Thank you for the $5. Bottom, I just don't know if there's, it's George and CeeDee and everybody else. Get in where you fit in.
Let me tell you something about Flo, though, that made me say, ooh, I like that.
Talk about it, Scott.
That little jet. So without Blue, I kept wondering who the hell can do some of these Turpin jet thing. There you go. Hey. I think Flo got some wiggle. He can do some of these. Getting the ball quick. I mean, I'm not saying he's gonna do everything Turpin can do, but there you go. Where Mingo does more of the traditional. I'm not saying Flo can't do that either, by the way. But Mingo can do the outside boundary stuff.
John, we lost. I think John's his device went out. He didn't leave. You know what? He been writing stories all day. Let's get to the rest of these supers and we'll but you know what? Still, look at it. Come on, baby. Let's get to these and then we'll head out.
This is my first time inside the middle right here. Yeah.
Supporting the show. Keep up the great work, Keith. We're gonna always show you love, man. Much love to you and your hat, as John would say. Why the F? There he is.
Oh, we got F-bombs.
We got F-bombs. And John, you came in right at the right time. Oh, there we go. Why the F isn't Jerry Jones doing anything? I think we kind of talked about it. Contracts are two-way agreements. That means Jerry Jones owes it to the players and GMs to help. Hey, thank you for the 20. I think you're absolutely right.
You got a lot of F-bombs here. Goddamn.
Yeah, you just don't get us kicked off the air.
Do your Joggins.
Jerry, do you, man? Thank you. Hey, thank you for this, Sanjay. Appreciate you.
Sanjay's serious about winning, though.
Hey, I love this one.
Of this channel, man. Sanjay is very, 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 very intrigued. He's very active during draft time as well. So shout out to Sanjay, always support.
Shout out to you, Sanjay. Arch Diddy, weird name. GP, are you with me? Hey,
what is
all my gospel fans? Y'all know what that is. Thank you.
Hold on, GP, are you with me? Is diabolical with the Arch Diddy name and the Diddy picture. That's crazy. If you know what GP are you, if you know what that, like you said, the gospel fans, but that's crazy, man.
The craziest work. Law, I told you DP 5,000 yards.
He's saying that Dak Prescott, he got a wager out that Dak Prescott is going to throw for 5,000 yards this season. So.
Is that the boy Kenneth?
No.
Okay, never mind. Because Kenneth always every year he say that, but anyway,
it could happen. Never know. This is a good one. Any concern of fatigue after all these long games,
bro?
That's a good point, Solid.
I'm just saying this on my show. I'm like, we have to have played the longest games in the NFL, and I don't think it's close.
You know, if it's at night, it's going to get it.
No, the first game we played till 1 in the morning. Right. And the Giants game went all the way to 0 seconds in overtime. And then the Packers game went to all the way to 0 seconds with a tie. We've played what now? 18 quarters, and then also into the next day twice. That's nuts.
Dang, you're right.
And you know what? Still, that goes to my Javonte point. I just think his run style could wear him down as the season goes on.
Fact, he's not. As I know he's RB1. He's league guy now. He ain't 325 carry. Like, that's not what we want right now. We need to get him a compliment so he can be fresh for later if you need him. You don't want
there'd be a game already where you would have 25.
Yeah, John, you want to keep him
I was going to answer the question. I have zero concern, and the reason why is because you only have concern in that situation if you have one of these new hard-ass coaches. I'll never forget. This is like when Matt Patricia took over as the Lions head coach. He thought he was just going to run these guys in the ground in training camp, and these guys are like, dude, Bill Belichick won the Super Bowls. Calm down. Like, you're just losing the whole locker room. And so those are the guys you worry about, the hard-ass coach. Shoddy, Mike McCarthy, they're about as player friendly as you get. Like, he'll completely change practice schedules. He'll turn practices that were supposed to be in full pads to be in walkthroughs and things like that. No, I would have no concern about that at all. With
who was that coach back in the days in Kansas City? Had Larry, what's his name? Larry Johnson or someone? He ran to the ground.
Yeah, you talking about you play to win the game?
Dick Vermeil,
Herm
Edwards. Who was it?
I think Herm had Larry. Dick Vermeil was in. He wasn't KC, but he was in.
Was it Marty?
Rams. Who
was it?
Marty?
Nah, Marty wasn't there when Larry got
older.
I think Marty at that time was
Marty with the Chargers. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's get to this.
That ball.
Yeah, let's get to this last one. Blue will be RB2, number 2.
Vermeil? I guess.
And what about Diggs at free safety? I know. I'm gonna say this, and Sky knows. I coined the term the roof. Guys, safeties are not old corners. Stop doing that. Just because you can play
Woodson do it.
Yeah, like, you have to be a legendary athlete. The only one I can say is possibly Jalen Ramsey because he did it in college. And John, you covered him. He's a freak athlete. That's why he's still playing at a high level now. Everybody can't just go back there and then also
you have to tackle at
I was about to say you have to on the alley and tackle. You're in the run fit. No, he can't play safety. No.
So it was Vermeil, and then it was Vermeil in 05. And then Larry Johnson in 6. I mean, at Herm Edwards in 6.
So it was both.
Those
are
the Herm 2 huge years. Yeah, those are the 2.
They ran that man to the ground.
Yeah, he was a fantasy football king.
I mean, Priest Holmes also got. I mean, back then, I actually looked it up the other day. Lots of backs was getting crazy carries at that time, but it was a different time. Yeah.
John Jones said stomp. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys Collective. We good, fellas? Any closing thoughts? We're cool.
We're going to the Super Bowl. Okay.
It's a tie. It's a tie.
All right. Ramifications. When can we catch the Eagles? And I know for sure we're a better team than the Washington. It's just that right now we just don't appear that way. But when can we catch the Eagles?
We're better than Washington. When?
Because I'm thinking we're going to catch them boys. They got
in
9 lives over there. Standings wise.
The problem is
next year.
You go through that stretch. Where you got to play like KC, Detroit, and
them Eagles, man.
What's that other game in there? Still,
Kansas City.
All of them.
Chargers.
What are we talking about? All of them until proven otherwise.
You gotta show some type of better defense.
I will say this, man. I will say this. Now we was a better team in 21, I think it was, or whatever year, 22 maybe.
They 10-1 and they hit the
right. I've seen there's this division is weird. Back-to-back division winners don't happen. I don't know how else to explain it.
Right.
That maybe it ain't the Cowboys, maybe it's some other team. But I hope we catch them, Law. I do, but these boys keep finding ways to win ugly. They ain't even playing well, but we seen this. They were winning.
John's not always hating on Dallas. John's being honest. Like if you really think they're catching the Eagles, that's fine. But you're being a fan. I'm being unbiased.
I do think they can.
You're living in the fan world. That's the difference.
I do think they can make the playoffs. And here's what I'm gonna say: if Dallas can, you need to take care of the Jets. Let's just start there. Sky's absolutely right. I'm not taking the Jets for granted. I don't care. Like, they're also, a bad team.
What have the Cowboys given you in the last 20, 30 years for you not to be somewhat critical of them? To just blindly be like, no, they're going to figure this out and get it right. What have they given you? I'm fascinated by this.
I'm going to tell you what they give me this year. You finally, John, have two legit weapons that the league can do nothing about. Now, I'm just being real. You have two guys and Dak Prescott.
Trust me, I'm being real.
Here, Johnny.
We can go now, y'all.
Here's my argument. Here's my argument for the playoffs, John. You have two legit weapons. Your offense will keep you in every game. You need to beat the Jets, beat the Panthers. Like Law said, beat the Commanders. You get to that Broncos game, that's a coin flip because they have a really good defense. You need to beat the Cardinals and the Raiders. And then the stretch is that Eagles, Chiefs, and Lions games. Those three games are really goofy.
Those three games. But if we don't just take this one game, you're right.
Scott, I like the way you talk. Let's go.
One game at a time.
Let's talk
before the season. I thought we could go to. I said double-digit win team because we got the offense, and I said we all said this. Me and you definitely was like, you're going to win because of your offense. Your defense is going to be whatever. But I had no idea it was going to look like this defensively, fam. Like this is altering this is messing with my brain because I'm like, man, we got the best damn offense in the league, right? We also got the worst damn defense, it seems like, in the league too. So my mind is just going crazy. I don't know how to feel, bro. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go back to what I've been doing for all these years. Yeah. One game at a damn.
Beat Justin Fields. Beat Justin Fields.
Beat the Jets. Fields never beat the Cowboys before, so come on with it.
What if they throw a curveball and it's Tyrod Taylor? You ready for him?
With the gloves? That's Teddy. That's Teddy.
Teddy, two-glove Teddy.
Who's also coaching you high school football, by the way. Well, was and got caught up.
Came off the sideline last year, for the Detroit Lions.
And by the way, anybody from Florida who's watching this, shame on you guys for talking about Teddy was taking money for the school. He poured more money into that school. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation.
Are you talking about Brett Favre being at the game? Sorry. My bad. Forgot.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Cowboys Collective. Hey, shout out to y'all, man. We had great numbers in here tonight. Shout out to y'all, man.
Overtime,
man. Run this back. iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen, Google Play. And Law, take us out, man.
You're listening to the sounds of the four horsemen and the four goats over here of Cowboys Collective. Let's go and let's get it.
We got them Sanborn ones, baby.
Let's go. Oh my God. Crazy work. Love y'all. Peace. See y'all on Thursday. All right, fellas.